Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Point 99 podcast, our running podcast by runners for runners. If you're new to running, we hope to have topics and discussions that will help you along whatever path your journey is taking. Or for any seasoned runners, maybe some stories that will have you empathizing with our experiences and predicament. Whether it's lessons we've learned during our own journeys, embarrassing stories, or heartstring pulling moments, we hope you'll stick with us and we'll try to share some good vibes, motivation and positivity as we go, and hopefully have a laugh along the way. Episode 7 is dedicated to the relatively unknown, super low-key and under-the-radar event known to many as the London Marathon. And of course, as we've been keeping track of for the past 6 episodes, my friend and chipper chappy, the London man himself, Runnerman Steve, will be there amongst the masses, having a good old party as he goes and smashes out the victory lap. So, Steve, what is your one-word response to how you're feeling now that you're into the final countdown? Do-do-do-do! Do-do-do-do-do!
Oh, Maranoia.
That's how you're feeling. You should know that, though. You've experienced it before. You should be chill. You should be like a serene lake.
Do you know what? I'm chilled about the distance. I'm chilled about all that sort of thing. It's just like I've had some conversations in the DMs about double guessing my own pace in whether I should wear a new pair of socks because I might don't break a rule. Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, but yeah, the Maranoia is very, very real. I was even debating the shoe, what I'm going to wear on the shoe. I was like, I know what I'm wearing. Why am I doing this to myself? The casual stuff, the normal stuff.
Do you have any more final little runs before Sunday, though?
Yes. So
you could wear the socks and see how they feel.
Yeah, I will do. I've also since bought a pair of black shorts out of vanity because my shoes are black and white. Oh, mate, I'm a mess. I'm an absolute mess. And I also bought, because I saw them on Vintage, a pair of New Balance base layers to stop the old chafing if I go with the black shorts, because I couldn't find 2-in-1 black. Actually, you know what? I could find 2-in-1 black shorts, but I weren't prepared to pay Nike 50 quid for them. So I just bought a £15 pair of shorts from TK Maxx and then managed to find some base layer shorts, New Balance ones on Vintage. Someone selling them for £5 with the tags on, so couldn't go wrong.
If I knew that, I would have given you a shout on a really good company. I use Time to Run shorts. They are shorts though, like Bob Barrell had put up in his was it on stories or in his feed the last week. It was who likes shorts, and Bob loves shorts, but so do I. Tiny little, really slightly off-putting shorts, I would say.
Yeah, no, I'm not a shorts kind of guy. I am sort of the highest I will go is sort of like, we're talking mid-thigh. I've seen some rascal ones where you might be wearing Speedos. It's absolutely criminal, some of these shorts I see. But each to their own. If it makes you go faster, if you feel like you're going faster, you rock on. But I will be wearing my base layers and a pair of shorts over top of them because I am not that confident to run around a pair of base. There are children on that course.
So we're not going to discuss Steve's fortnight in training this week, as we'll be covering the whole 16 weeks of hard graft, the blood, the sweat and the tears, the whole 9 yards plus the other 46,136. Oh, that took a bit of Googling to find out that. We'll try to cover as much as we can, so anyone listening who is thinking about running a marathon can absorb what it really takes to prepare for your second marathon and your first in many instances, and having learned a lesson or two from his first outing just 6 months ago. Before we jump into that, though, we just want to quickly mention and shout out our guest from the last episode, Hannah, for absolutely bossing her Boston Marathon and achieving her target of a sub 5 hour marathon. Now, furthermore to that, though, because I'm sure Steve will give a little bit of chat there on Hannah. We also want to give a massive follow-on celebratory shout out to a future guest of ours and a friend of mine, Sarah_runs, Sarah Homer, who demolished the marathon at Boston as well with a 3 hour, 24 minutes and 16-second run, which is phenomenal.
Ridiculous for that course. Ridiculous.
And I think it was raining for the second half as well, for most people.
For most people. I mean, I think even for Kipchoge, it looked like it was raining to an extent.
He was playing a wet t-shirt competition, it looked like.
Allegedly, people. Allegedly.
It looked like a really good start to that marathon, and then it just went downhill. But then it's Boston. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen on any marathon, you know what I mean?
I'm sure we'll hear from Hannah, and because we're going to get her back. But did she say anything to you off the back of the marathon?
She got back to me because obviously there's a time difference, isn't there? And obviously, I was flooding her inbox, knowing that she weren't going to actually see them, but I wanted her to know that people were really tracking her. I saw her across the halfway point. I thought, hang about, she's on for a massive one here. And then it sort of drifted out, and then I saw she started picking the pace up. So I was speaking to her, the day after, our day after. Don't know what time it was over there. Actually, no, she said it was about 4:15 midday, roughly, when she finally got back to me. And she said she got to a point, and she's like, hang on, it's on. You got it. Go for it now. Do it. Like, go. Put your foot down. And she done it. And I think collectively she was saying that she had loads of messages at one particular point when it said 5 hours and 2 seconds, and everyone was messaging her going, run, push, push. Because I know she said on our episode, she said to me in person that, I was going for a good time, not going to think about the sub 5. That can be for another time, But I know at 5 hours and 2 seconds would have killed her. Because to be free, basically, 1.5 steps away from the sub 5. So she not only got the sub 5, but she got it by some good couple. It's about a minute or so below it. So that was amazing. But I flooded it. I was talking to Lucy. I was like, Lucy, she's gonna do it. Oh no, it was amazing. So yeah, she was really, really stoked, really happy, and she said to me, "Now I pass the baton over to you for London." She's going to be in London to cheer everyone on. So
yeah, because she's got a friend, hasn't she? She met someone. She was speaking to someone who was driving down to Boston to cheer her on. Now we are going to do a shout out, so that actually maybe gives a spoiler to Hannah's shout out. But she has someone coming over from the States as well to cheer her on. So she can cheer her on. Sorry. So, but yeah, Hannah did say she was going to come cheer you on too, and be at the 7 mile mark, so we can hear if you're wanting to stop because your feet are sore.
Oh, if I stop to 7 miles, I'm getting back on the train and going home. So, I'm not even going to the pub. I was like, go home, look in the mirror, go, you're a failure.
Oh, not at all.
I'm joking. just the pressure I put on myself, people. Okay. Just put that caveat in there.
But we'll move on to London then. But first, on the topic of London, if you haven't heard already, the dates for the 2024 ballot are out. The ballot opens on Saturday, the 22nd of April. So, a couple of days' time. And it will run through to Friday, the 28th.
Yep, and maybe next year they'll change the medal.
Oh. Yes, Steve's already had a grumble before we hit record about the medal.
I'm so sorry. Oh, it's the same as last year. They just changed the colour of it.
If you are in the good for age category, that's already well underway. So I would hope that you would know, if you're in the good for age, what your category or your criteria spell is. But that's been running since the 3rd of October, and that will finish on the 30th of September. So we just wanted to make sure that anyone doing that as well was aware that they've got a little bit longer to get themselves a time to get good for age. But first question for you. How have the past 16 weeks gone? So we're going to try and do a bit of a whistle-stop tour here, but it's all questions for Steve. See how he feels. I've got some questions written down. We'll probably get a bit tangential, as we usually do. But first and foremost, most importantly, how are you feeling ahead of the weekend, other than Maranoia?
Other than Maranoia, no, I'm ready for it. I've spent, typically the last week and a half thinking, oh, what's that new? Oh, what's that? I've not felt that before. Is that pain? Is that so? Let's stick that under Maranoia.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to go to the gym properly for the final strength session due to my hand because I got it caught in a machine, didn't I? So I still get some pain from that. So I've adapted that at home, doing some like HIIT workouts on YouTube from the television when my daughter fell asleep, that sort of thing. I'm good. I'm excited. Just in general, I'm going to go for a shakeout run on Saturday with Tracksmith. So that'll be nice. Just really get into that vibe. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm just excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not nervous. It might sound to some that I might be dismissing the challenge of the marathon. I 100% am not. I'm very, very focused on what the task at hand. But because I've done it, because I've been there, I've been in the eye of the storm with it. I've adapted my training around the shortcomings of last year, of what I didn't do properly. So that doesn't mean I'm, exempt from any issues on the day. Anything can happen on any given day. I just know heading into it, I've done at this stage and my target all I can. If I was to in the future go for an even quicker target, I know I'd have to change my plan because this plan wouldn't be right for that time target, if that makes sense. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling strong. I know I've done all I can do. I'm ignoring the paranoia of, oh, you'll need this, or no, I don't. It's in a box. I put it on the shelf. I'm not thinking about it anymore. It's gone. That's what I'm doing.
I think it was really strange when I did my second one, even though it was a different venue or different location for my first marathon, how calm you will actually be on race day as well. Once you get down to the start line, it just takes on a totally different feeling because you've been there, you've done it, and you almost feel like this is what I do. I am a marathon runner. Let's go.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it's just, I'm just really looking forward to it. Honestly, it's going to be great. Fundraising wise, I feel amazing for that. So I'm now at just under £1,100. The target was 1,600. I'm very fortunate to have, in my workplace, I've got people that really care, because I'm obviously, the way you manage people is the way they respond to you is based on how you are with them.
Yeah.
People have been fantastic, very supportive, and we've got, obviously, so I work in an airport, so we've got a taxi rank, and the taxi rank supervisor was like, "Yeah, Brick, get me a bucket from the charity, and I'll put it in the window of every single cab." And they come in and go, "Yeah, the street manager's doing a London Marathon for the children." He done that. He done it for like 3 hours on a taxi rank. He stopped because the same taxi was then coming back again, because they've done their rounds and they're coming back after dropping people off in various parts of London. And he got 360 quid out of him in 3 hours,
that's really good. Yeah.
But I'm just fortunate to have people around like that. So when I take on these challenges and the charity says we need you to commit to try and raise X amount, I know that I've got a good base. I'm not solely relying on friends and family on a social media site, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you can you can feel like you're bombarding friends and family, and they are really generous, but you don't want it. You don't want just them always putting their hand in their pocket. And then it's, what else can you do? Having done big charity events in the past and done the dancing event, I had to go do like spin bikes and in Tesco's dressed as a sunflower. And I was so lucky to do it on a weekend where there was quite a large football match on for the area. So all these drunk fans came in and gave a lot of money. But it's, what do you do? Quizzes, horse race nights, all these things. But if you've got the backing there, and it's helped your charity fundraising, because you are a charity runner on this occasion. So that does come with its own little difficulties. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's London does ask a lot for charity runners. So you've not only got the worry of the training for the last 16 weeks, but you also have the worry of earning the money that goes along with it.
Yeah, so no, I'm running for Well Child this year, and as I was desperate to get into London Marathon again, because I think where it was happening so soon after the one I'd done, I needed to get into it. But I was very selective of the charities that I chose. I wanted it to be with a children's charity, and that's purely because I'm very aware that I'm fortunate that my daughter has never needed such a charity. But that doesn't mean you should then just ignore the charities that exist for those that do.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah.
I see it that I'm fortunate enough that my daughter's been, blessed with the fact that she can be healthy and happy and hit the milestone she's supposed to, in quote unquote. So it's important to give back, and I've always wanted to do something that makes a difference. And whilst my job doesn't make a difference in the social aspect I want it to, it makes a difference at my airport that I work for. So we can get you from the check-in to your aircraft seat in X minutes. Okay, you can make a difference for that, but I mean socially, and leave a mark on it to be proud of. So no, I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I'm glad that the one of the children's charities said, yeah, we'd love to have you on board, and they've trusted me, so I've made sure I've raised a fair old whack for their return.
Spot on. So with 16 weeks of fundraising comes 16 weeks of training as well. So can you give the listeners a little kind of, as I say, whistle stop tour of how the training has gone? Any particular highs or lows or everything in between for the last 16 weeks of that training plan?
I'll tell you what, it's gone fast. It's gone so quick. I just remember it being sort of Christmas, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to start training soon. And then you blink your eyes and it's done. I don't know how I've got here so quick. So it's one of those things where you say, you put something off, but that time is always going to elapse.
Yeah.
Time is not going to stop. Time is not your friend. And we've all got busy lives. But if you really want something, you're going to find that time. And that's my mantra. The only thing that's been non-negotiable during this whole entire training process, the only non-negotiable is that I will be doing the school runs to pick my daughter up, because that's what makes me genuinely happy.
Yeah.
So that's the only non-negotiable. So during some of the runs, say it's a 9-mile run at easy pace, I know I'm not going to fit the entirety of that run in the time available. So if I've run 7.5, 8, I'd rather... Are your legs long? Hello, listeners. We are on today's episode of Are My Legs Long? Yes, Daisy, they're long. There you go. iPad's on. Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Well, it goes to show, though, that's another reason for running for the reason you're running for a children's charity, because we're not making up. He does have a daughter. She is there.
Yeah. I'm not. I tell you what, Daisy. Can you say hello, point 99?
Hello, point 99.
There we go. There we go. Daisy is so good at this. So yes, happy to have a healthy child that requires nothing but what I can give her. So, yeah, the training wise, it's like I said, it goes very quick. The time, whether you sit there and think about it on week 1 and you don't do nothing till week 3, you still lost that time. You've lost the time. So you have to be dedicated to it. Like I said, my daughter and her pickup is the only non-negotiable. Obviously, when I come to half terms, I've had to tweak it around a little bit, do a late evening run or an earlier morning run, so I can go out with her during the daytime when I did have the limited days off I had during her half time. It's been great, and to be honest with you, there's not been that many sessions where I've just thought, "What am I doing?" I mean, there's been one run where I got halfway around and I sacked it off. And I knew in my body that I just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So I just sacked it off.
But you've got to do that during marathon training. If you don't feel, in any training, if you don't feel right, there's no point pushing yourself to do it, because you could put yourself off. You've really got to have a wee word with yourself and say, is it worth it today? Today's not the day. I'm not feeling it. I'll come back tomorrow or the next day and I'll blast it out of the water. I'll smash my next session, but I'm just not feeling it today.
100%. And I've not even chased miles. And there are a lot of times that happens where, you know, I've really learned in this block more than the last one of quality over quantity. I've learned that, okay, yeah, I missed that run or I missed 4 or 5 miles. I'm not going to add it onto that one over there. During peak weeks, I would, because you've got to have a certain amount of time on your feet. So I try to stay as true as possible, but I'll just make sure that you're not hard on yourself at all. And remember that I'm not a full-time athlete. I am a working father that has other responsibilities.
So with your lows, though, the highs, we'll mention once again the particular high was smashing your 5K goal.
Yes, 19 minute, 19 seconds. Very perfectly symmetrical as well. 19:19. Well, not really symmetrical. It would have been 19:91, but that doesn't.
That doesn't work. Yeah.
So we're going to go 19:19. No, that was a really, really good one. But if I was to say that wasn't the greatest feeling of my marathon blocks, people might think you're absolutely crazy. You've achieved, you know, the sub 25K that you wanted to achieve, but it's not your best run.
Yeah.
My best run was when I beat a demon from the first marathon where I blew up around about 17, 18 miles. And that, for me, was a big mental block coming to this one going, right, well, last time your long runs didn't go well. Why didn't they go well? I've altered the plan. So I take a gel every fourth mile, regardless of how I feel. If I feel really strong, I still take that gel at the fourth mile because I'm just topping up the stores. I'm not letting that wall come to me. I'm going to go. I've run past the wall. So when I've done, you know, I think it was my 20 miler, that gave me such a buzz because I've just absolutely run straight through it. So that was my best one.
Yeah. You've actually passed that on to me now as well. So every 7 kilometers, I'm taking a gel. I saw that on one of the. We either talked about it or I saw it on one of your posts. Like you were taking the gels every 7 kilometers ish. So now that's what I do, and it works so well because you can space them out really well.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, you can break your run into blocks. So I will say, okay, if I'm doing a 16-mile run, I will have one at 4, 8, and 12.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 blocks to tick off. So I've taken a gel. There you go. That's block 1 done. 2 more blocks to go. Yeah. And that just helps. That helps you get around it. And also, you know, the Runner Coach app also breaks the runs down really well. So it could say you've got 12 miles at a comfortable pace. You've then got, say, 5 miles at goal pace, and then you're going to do the last 2 back into comfortable. So you look at you run along thinking, oh, yeah, I'm at 11 miles now. Yeah, it's great. They're fantastic. It's all that run's done now. And now you're doing another session. So that helps. Just breaking it down so I feel in a good place for it. I think on the day itself, when I get to mud shoot area, so Isle of Dogs, it's about mile 17 running through and then through onto Canary. When I get to that point there, that's the moment that I'm going to go, right now we're really on, because I'm not going to be in that position I was last year, 6 months ago. And this time my aunt will stand on the right side of the road, even though she lives in the area and has watched multiple London marathons. She went, I'll be on the left side. I'm thinking, how's she going to get to the left side? Oh, I'm not going to argue with her. She lives there. No, she went, I meant the right side. Oh, yeah. I tell you what, I run right. I said, I'm expecting signs now. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to run with a sub 3:30 pacer, and they're going to have a big sign saying 3:30. You won't be able to miss me. Just look for the 3:30.
Oh, that's bad, especially if you live in the area. Anyway.
When I say live in the area, she literally lives about 45 seconds from the actual main road part.
There's no excuse then. There's no excuse. But you'll have plenty of support on the route. I think your community, your side of the community, has grown significantly in the past 6 months since you last did it. So I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot of people shouting your name.
Yeah, you know what? You say that, but it's so true. I didn't realize it until just recently, as we're getting closer to marathon, and people are like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see you run!" And you've been an inspiration. You've helped me this. I'm like, I'm just Steve, mate. You know what I mean? I appreciate it, but it still blows my mind. It's not what I got into it for, but I'm happy I'll help at least one person.
Stay humble.
It's mind-boggling to me. Honestly, it's mind-boggling.
My next question was actually going to be, now we've covered it a little bit, so we'll probably pass it, but has there been paranoia, or have you been okay so far? There has been paranoia. We know you've had paranoia, but has it been better or worse than 6 months ago?
I think it's been a bit worse.
Because there's less unknowns.
There's less unknowns, and I've ticked some boxes that I didn't tick last time. So I feel like there's a little bit more pressure there on myself, because I know if I do what I've been training properly for, barring any issues on the day, I've got no excuse. And I know people have their bad days. I know Kipchoge had his bad day the other day, but his bad day is still probably a day that I could never dream of doing. Do you know what I mean? So there's context here.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a bit worse because, you chuck a carbon plate into it. I've never raced in a carbon plate shoe, so I'm going to do that, even though I've worn them and run really well in them. And you're thinking, oh, that's really good. Oh, should I wear the Nova Blast because I've been doing all my long runs in Nova Blast? But no, but you didn't do much fast pacing there, but you did it. And it's just constant. It's like a hamster wheel in my head.
Yeah, it's a lot of second guessing yourself and
so much second guessing myself. So it's been a little bit worse, but not within the context of I don't know what I'm doing in terms of the run. It's I don't know why am I guessing myself again and again and again.
But that's, you maybe need to sit yourself down and just say to yourself, I just need to go with my gut instinct. I know it. I know what's best for me now. I've experienced it once, and it was a lot of unknowns, whereas now you have a lot of the unknowns answered, and now you're doubting yourself because you may have cycled through a different set of shoes or a different set of socks. But yeah, I'd say just you have to sit with yourself, get yourself a Stella, sit yourself down and just say to yourself, don't second guess yourself. Just go with what you feel most comfortable in, and that's all you can do. Whatever happens on the day happens on the day.
Yeah, that is literally, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to rock up and tell myself just to shut up. I feel like I'm like, like in Home Alone when he's scared of the thing in the basement and it's basically nothing, and he goes, oh, shut up. and that's me. That's just basically what's going to be me on the day itself. It's me now, really.
Good. The next one I had, and I think it's quite important because there was a lot of strike action round about the 6 months ago, round about the London Marathon. Words are hard, get them out. So after the transport issues experienced last October, how is everything looking for your journey to the start line this year?
I am very fortunate that I don't live too far and don't require any. I think the issues last year, they were more main line rails.
Yeah, anyone coming in from the outside, wasn't it, instead of the overground?
Yeah. So those were my main issue. Those were the main issues for me personally. I I just step out my door, go down and get the Docklands Light Railway.
Yeah.
Do one change and I'm sweet. I'm done. So I'm expecting the same for that. I do know for other people that later on might be a bit busier because the FA Cup final semi-final, is at Wembley on the same day. So that's Brighton versus Manchester United.
It's going to be London is going to be so busy.
Yeah, but that being said, now that I think it, now I said it out loud, and I've just remembered something. The New Orleans Saints were at Wembley the day of the marathon, and I say annoyingly because they are my NFL team, and I've been waiting for. So I got into NFL for those who might be interested. And if you're not, here it goes anyway. I got into the NFL when my daughter was born in 2018. I gave it a couple of tries beforehand, couldn't get into it. Found that I had plenty of time on my hand because babies like to sleep. So I found myself watching that a lot because you're up in the middle of the night. BBC will put it up in the middle of the night when he's watching it on there. And so they were at home. They were at Wembley, sorry, and the train networks weren't too bad. There might be a little bit more because obviously it's English football and such a monumental occasion.
A lot more being football. Yeah,
I'm just hoping that the fact that it's the other side of sort of London, so it's in North London, right the way over, on a different line. So I'm hoping I should be able to just jump on the train at Embankment and one direct line straight home.
So it should hopefully, touch wood, all going well, be an in and out job. Get in, no issues, get the job done, and then get home.
For me, yes. For those who might need to then go off to, I don't know, Liverpool Street or anywhere getting a national rail type service. I did hear though today the usual fear that there might be protest action.
After what happened at the Crucible just the other day and what happened with...
Well, they've done it last year. So every year they sort of do it around the same time around... I'm going to get in now. They do the same action around Parliament, but they've apparently they've assured the race London Marathon race director that they're not going to touch the London Marathon. I think that's very smart because it'd be very silly to touch it.
I think that would be very silly to touch it unless it's the elite runners. I think if you got in and about the likes of yourself and people who have spent a long old while training for something, if you had someone come on to the course and try and protest, whether for a valid reason or not, they're going to get punched in the face by someone.
By me.
They are running that risk of it'll backfire on them.
Look, I sympathise and I understand the efforts, and I am with them on a lot of things. I'm not really with some of the methods, but something that's pretty carbon neutral that raises millions for charity. I don't even think they're that silly to do it. I just think it's a news story every year they try doing it. I'm super buzzing, looking forward to it. It looks like the trains are going to be fine. It's hopefully everyone doesn't have too stressed a time when they finish and they've got their nice bit of bling. Elbows
Everyone's going to be taking too many selfies to really care about trains by that point. There's going to be selfies from every angle known to man.
I'm looking for the first pub and the elbows are out.
Oh, they a well-deserved refreshment by that point.
Absolutely. Give me a Birra Moretti or a Stella. Nothing else. Thank you very much.
I've only got one more question then before we get on to the shout outs. And I'm going to let you go first on the shout outs this time because I don't want to step on your toes. But in the last episode, you mentioned about your kit bag and you were a bit unsure whether you wanted to share what's in your kit bag or not. But I think it would be beneficial, bearing in mind this is coming out on the Friday and there's only really the Saturday for any first time runners, but it still gives that last minute kind of check off. Oh, maybe I should actually put that, because you can chuck something in a bag. Don't take anything out, but chuck something in that you might be putting in and you're going to suggest is maybe beneficial for people to take. So can you go through what's in Steve's sack?
Let me compose myself, people. I just want to say, everyone that's listening, I had no ideas on these questions. I've had no email this week.
I have not shown him anything on the script this week.
Oh, the filth of Steve's mind is just laughed for no reason.
Before you answer that question, to go back on the slip of the tongue of deep diving Ryan, the poor man does have worries now. He did come back to me. He's got his concerns.
Oh, what are you letting yourself in for?
I know.
Okay, so what's in the bag, Angelos, for anyone that likes what's that program? Bob Mortimer and Vic Reeves. You know, remember the Coup de Dove from Above? I don't know.
Yeah. What was that? Shooting Stars. Shooting Stars.
Shooting Stars. What's in your bag, Angelos? And he's got that Sainsbury's bag.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I'm like an encyclopedia of useless knowledge and memory.
Oh.
The anecdotes I can come out with are just ridiculous. So what's in the bag? Right, first of all, and it's a phrase that so a lot of stuff that I've got in my bag is from what I've looked at YouTube last year, a lot like everyone now. Clueless what to put in the bag. What do you put in there? Because it's completely different from going for a half marathon or a 10K. The first one is if you're able to, and I say if you're able to because you might be diabetic, you might not be able to have that amount of sugar, is a bottle of full fat Coke, because that was beautiful at the end and it just brings you back to life. And I got that from 40 Runs, and he actually coins it as the red ambulance. He calls it the red ambulance. And listen, straight in, it's the first thing I had when I got across, because I'm a proper athlete like that.
Yeah, but it spikes energy, spikes your sugar levels. You're going to be tired at the end, and it's just that hit of glucose to get you right going again. Yeah.
Brings you to life. So that will be in the bag. A fresh pair of socks, so like some crew socks, just to get the running socks off my feet. Definitely gonna have some sliders in there. Get them trainers off, because them carbons are gonna want to come off, because they'll be screaming at me. Baby wipes or face wipes, because the amount of salt you sweat your eyes and sticking together, you might want to clean under your arms, that sort of thing. Just to freshen up.
Just sorry to interrupt you there. That's a spot on suggestion, especially with the weather just now. Because I went for a run last night, only went for 7.5 kilometers, but I was absolutely dripping by the time I got back, and my eyes were stinging with the amount of salty sweat. So after you finish, what's going to be more than likely a warm weekend in London, good shout. Clean yourself off.
Yeah, and then to go along with that, a face towel to dry yourself off.
Yeah.
So, that sort of thing you're looking at. So you're not an absolute mess. Soft trousers. So a pair of New Balance jogging bottoms that I got. I mean, other brands are available. I know I love New Balance, but they don't pay me, people. I pay them.
Now, will you wear them to the start line then put it in your bag and chuck it on the baggage truck.
Yeah. So I'm all about trying to keep my core as warm as possible. So I'll wear that. Also, I'll probably pop in the jumper to it as well, because at the end of it, again, so before you want to keep warm, the end of it, you're gonna want to keep. Your body temperature is going to come down really quick because you're going to start, getting back to normal. And you could be cold pretty quickly. So I'm going to unless it is really hot, I'm going to pop that on. So something nice and soft. So almost like a change of clothes. And I'm not going to lie to you, I will pop in a clean pair of boxers.
Yeah,
right.
Because you're going to be soaked through. Like no matter what your level of fitness is, you're going to be soaked. So your temperature will drop, especially if it's warm. You're just going to be soaked to the skin.
Yeah, it's going to be, and you're going to need to feel comfortable afterwards because your body's going to be sore. You're going to be walking like John Wayne within 2 hours.
Yeah.
If you think about everyone, if you think about your long runs and you've been out for, 3 hours and it's not even been that hot, but your body temperature is so warm because of the repeated action of what you're doing. Your body's pumping, more blood's being pumped around you than normal. Your body's really warm. As soon as you get back to normality and you're now walking around, the cold hits you bloody quick.
Yeah.
So it's all about being comfortable. I know, listen, you're going to get your race shirt and got to put it on. I've got to take the picture in front of the arc or turn around with the finish line, do all that. But as soon as you can, put on something warm and soft. Your body's going to thank you for it. If it was socially acceptable, and the trains weren't so dirty, I'd put on my Uggs. I'd put my Ugg slippers on because they are like the Vaporfly of house slippers, right? Right. They are the Vaporfly. I would never wear Ugg boots, but Ugg slippers all day long, every day and tomorrow because they're beautiful. I come in from a long runs, kick the trainers off, straight into the Uggs because it's like a velvet carpet on your feet. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. If Uggs want to send me some stuff, please get in contact with. Same as New Balance. If you want to get in contact, just pop a little DM. Steve will let me know. So that will go in there. Banana, that will go in there. Something to eat afterwards. Maybe like a flapjack type stuff you normally get at these 10K events. I'm trying to think of what else is off the top of my head because I've literally not even entertained it for a second yet. That's how comfortable I've been with it. A box of Imodium, in case the ones I take it home before I leave the flat don't work. So they'll go in there. Mm-hmm. My Pure Sport will go in there. So when I finish, I can get that straight on. I love a bit of Pure Sport now. I've become obsessed with it. I've been converted. And that's roughly around about it, really, for my bag. It's going to look like there's a lot in there purely because I've got the tracksuit bottom, the tracksuit top.
Yeah, well, that happens though because your bag's going to feel slightly empty when you're going there because you've got your tracksuit on, your jumper, your trousers. You're wearing that because you've got everything else underneath. But then when you take that off, it packs out your bag a lot. I think that's a good shout though. That's to have something of a glucosey, syrupy sugar shot into you because all the calories you're going to have burn to get something to liven yourself back up again. A banana as well, your flapjack. Personally, I went for like jelly babies because I took a few of them with me on one of the marathons, but you just need that. You need that nutrition. You need something to sort of fill you up because you're going to be absolutely drained by it. Change of clothes, but you don't want to just change into your new t-shirt and your socks or you're back into your tracksuit absolutely soaking. So yeah, wet wipe yourself down, face towel. Certainly your Imodium, it's like you say, it might not have taken effect before you've left. So pop another couple, but don't pop too many because it's bad. Well, you'll feel it. Don't take too many. It's bad for you. But yeah, I think that's a good shout with all those.
I toilet roll, or at least pocket tissues, because there's no guarantee when you get to that Portaloo.
Yeah.
And you need to go.
Yeah.
and you get in there and there's no toilet roll when you've just waited about 45 years to get into the toilet.
The SpongeBob 10 years later.
Yeah, 10 years later. Or that meme from the Titanic was like the old lady's like, it's been 84 years. So yeah, some toilet tissue in some varied form, whether you take a roll, whether you take like reams of it put it in your pocket, I don't know. But Jelly Babies, will be in my pocket. Yeah. Because listen, on the course, for anyone that's not done a marathon before or London before, everyone wants to give you sweets because they think it's going to give you energy as you're running the course. I'd say don't take it. Now, people say, well, you're going against the community spirit and so on and so forth. And maybe for those that aren't going for what they would class as a quick time, if they see my time as a quick time, but any time at all that you're trying to run for, even if it's just to finish it, if you take sweets and bits and pieces off people, and they think they're doing an amazing job, and they are doing an amazing job because they're being very community-like, you might not have had that in your training at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and you don't know. Now, they don't think of that. You've trained for 16 weeks, nothing new on race day. Use the same gels, use the same this, the same that, the same other. I've even done my training runs around about the same time as what I thought my start time would be. So around about 10 to 10:30, I've started my long runs every week. My body's, accustomed to running at that time for X amount of miles. I know when I'm eating, I know what time I'm waking up. I know all of it. To then let it unravel because you go, oh, that's really nice, I'll have that wallop. And you've just put something in your mouth that you've not had during your training. Now, ordinarily, day to day, you might sit at home and have that item, but you're not doing what you're doing. You're not running the marathon whilst you're taking it. So I'd be very cautious. So if you do have a thing for like a sweet, like a Jelly Baby or a Haribo, take some. If you can stuff some in your pocket, great. I mean, yeah, you might see someone hand out a packet of Jelly Babies to you or whatever. I still wouldn't take it personally because I'm not. It's not my controllable.
Yeah, see, I'm going to be also. I've personally taken sweets off people at events, but my events are small, rural. Not that people are more trustworthy where I'm running, but I would have less doubt taking something off of an old lady up here than in busy London. You don't know what people are putting in some of these things either. They're probably all fine, but at the same time, who's lacing it with laxatives to help you run faster? That would be my thought.
Yeah, no. So, and like you said, it's really sad that you've got to think of it that way. Obviously, I was looking at it in a sense of
don't change your plan. That you go just do. But, I know what you mean. Now.
It's true. People, people kind of go out for a drink sometimes without getting spiked. You don't know what someone's motive is to say, oh yeah, I gave like all these sweets to them, and now they're going to be at the finish line with brown down the leg. Listen, it's not what we're saying, but stick to what you know.
Yeah.
It's very simple. That's just my bit on that. I know we've digressed. And gone down
a bit of digression, but no, I think I would wholeheartedly agree with what you've got in your bag there. Just to kind of reiterate, the Coke, the change of clothes, the change of socks, the change of footwear if you can, wet wipes, some nutrition, some Imodium, and for you some Pure Sport. All spot on suggestions there.
I mean, other alternatives to Pure Sport are there, like Tiger Balm or Voltarol or Deep Heat, whatever you like to use.
You'll smell fantastic if you've got a Tiger Balm on. Oh, yes. Guilty pleasure. But I think that's my questions. I wanted to keep it brief and wanted to kind of let it flow. And it has had a little bit of flow there in between. I didn't want it to be too serious, because anything that I could have said could have added to your paranoia, and that's not what I'm wanting to do. You've only got a few more days to go.
I'm a one-man band with that, my friends. I'm on the drums, guitar, on everything.
Yeah.
Just nodding to each other like, yeah, you're playing the beat well, mate. Go on.
But not only is Steve running London, funnily enough, he's not just the only man running around. That would be a very interesting parade if it was just Steve and everyone watching him. It's a busy old event. So we put a couple of calls out on our individual pages and on the main Point 99 page. We both have some shout outs to do. Because I stepped on Steve's toes last time round, I'm going to let him do his shout outs first, and then I'll go through mine. So, Steve, do you have them available? Are they ready to go?
No. What I'll do is what I do every week, people, is at this point, I go to my DMs and I see who's been talking to Steve this week. Sorry, I do apologise. 1 second. A very important question's come about, people. Yes, Daisy, your family does love you. Sorry, she's just shouting at me from the floor. Do my family love me while she's colouring in? I was like, yes, that question can't be told. Wait a minute, Daisy's on the phone. Okay. So one's a new person, a new follower this week who's also running London Marathon. And you know what? I actually commented on a London Marathon post, which then I think was liked by about maybe 300 people. And I started getting some DMs from, I think my comment was around that I was insanely jealous of everyone that's doing their first London, because you only ever get your first London.
Yeah.
So I'm the preacher now. Just enjoy it. Take it all in. Come back another time and conquer a time. Just for now, soak it in. Like, take it in, because it's going to be emotional. And there was one, it's Kirona, Kierona, 1983, Kieran. And he messaged me and he literally said, I find your page really inspiring. And he said our 5K, 10K and half times are sort of similar. And he's taken his first ever marathon. And he was asking for advice. He was talking about breaking it down into blocks. He was nervous as hell. And I just messaged him back loads of stuff. So give him a shout out. I don't know if he listens to this podcast, but he was in my DMs and he was having what I was last year. And I thought it's very important, because I had people giving me fantastic advice that didn't know me. And you have to repay the favour. You honestly have to. So we'll have that chap there. We have BEE _ running. So Becky, she's friends with Lucy, who came down to Parkrun along with Hannah back in week 3. She's just made her Instagram running page. Before it was like a personal one, but now she's done a specific running one. So she's doing really, really good things on there. So she's a great person to follow. Very interactive. She does talk when you want to talk. I'll tell you what, I know we've done a shout out before, but Giz Fowler. Giz on the run.
Yeah.
See, I didn't call her the other word.
She'll be glad of that.
I know you shouted her out before, but I want to shout her out in general. And I'll tell you what happened. She sent me a video of... I'm walking left to right because I'm talking, darling. Send me a video of The Mandalorian, Steve. And she sent it to me, and I sent a laughing emoji face. And she put an expletive. I actually sent this to the wrong Steve. And I said, as a Mandalorian fan, I'm all good. And she said, hi, Steve, do you know that I was a geek and I've got a very filthy sense of humour? So I feel like we broke some ice there. It's really good because, one, I love Star Wars, and two, I love filthy sense of humours. So I was quids in. So I think she got off lightly with that one. But she gave me a laugh whilst the paranoia was spinning my nut.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with that. I'm going to go with one more. And again, I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but his name is Dave. His name on Instagram is 5K. It's Dave Lawless. So Dave _ Lawless 23. He was a pacer for Manchester Marathon, sub 3:30. So I was like, okay, this is going to be amazing. Can you kindly send me a screenshot of your splits so I can see what a pace is looking at on a 3:30 marathon? And he went, yeah, no worries. But then at a certain point in the marathon, he was cut up by someone. So he paid attention to that person and missed the fact that there was a pothole in front of him.
Oh.
And fell over, end up in the medical tent. He's all good though. He's like, it is what it is. It happened, and I think he's pacing a half marathon pretty soon. So he's got away relatively unscathed. He just didn't get to pace around the whole marathon because of that. So people, if you are running with a pacer or around a pacer, A, don't race the pacer. B, don't cut them up.
Yeah, I think that's a good. It's a good shout. With cycling being my background, when you're doing cycling events, it's very common for the rider in front of you to point to any potholes that are on, because you can't see them, they're in the way. That's something that I've translated into my running. If you're at a marathon, if you're at a half marathon, any event, and it's a massive bodies, let the people know there's someone around. If there's a pothole, if there's an obstacle, give them a shout, because last thing you want is someone running into a pothole and injure themselves that you could have helped prevent.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give one more, and I think I have mentioned before, so it's more of a recognition of the support he's given me this week. Is Ian runs marathons, who we was having Maranoia chats on the DMs. He was doing Manchester. He absolutely smashed it to pieces. And now he's like, yeah, I've handed a baton to you. He's been pumping me up big time for this. So it's more of an appreciation than a shout out, I guess. Because, it's funny. I was looking at the likes of himself and Craig, maybe a year ago, thinking, God, them guys are rapid. And they are. And I won't class myself in their level, because I can't see myself running a sub 3 marathon for quite some time. But the fact that they are, I've seen them from afar, and now they're giving me advice and spurring you on. It just shows that it goes against the grain of some people say, oh, the really fast people don't care about people that are slower than, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he, fantastic guy. And listen, if you don't follow him, do. Like, Ian runs marathons, because his content is brilliant. I'll crack up. I'm laughing. I mean, like I said, he had the Colin the Caterpillar, and he said he had one in his office. And he said, can't you see I'm Colin?
I saw that,
brilliant.
Yes.
I was howling. So he's cracking. Those are my shout-outs. Over to my Scottish part, Steve.
I actually think you may have misinterpreted the homework there, Steve. But you'll understand why I'm saying that in a second.
You told me to give shout-outs. I gave shout-outs.
The London Marathon shout-out. So you put out the question, didn't you?
No, do you know what it is? No, I can't lie. People did reply, and I sort of didn't save them on my thing.
I'll give you a little. I'll run through mine, and I'll tell you how to get them. If you go to your burger menu, go to your archive, go to that particular story and swipe up, you will see. So if you can do that just now, I'll run through mine, and hopefully we don't have any clashes here. But
those are my community shout-outs. There we go.
All right, I'm going to run through mine. So I have 11 shout-outs that are related to London. So first off, we have Haley runs here, and that's Haley _runs_ here. And that was as shouted out by Hannah in the last episode. She's also dropped us a little reminder to say that she is running the streets of London for the 26.2 miles of Smiles. Next up, I have one of my Who Dropped the Dibber buddies, fellow team captain, Jamie _runs. Jamie's wanting to give a massive shout out to his coach, Craig Baines. Now, Craig, I follow both his coaching account and his main account. He is such an inspirational guy. I know a few people that are coached by him, and they have nothing but praise for the chap. So his accounts are run underscore with underscore Bainesy, or at RWB underscore coaching. And Jamie just really wants to return all the support that Craig has given him so far. And I applaud that. That's really good. If you get on with your coach, not everyone gets on with their coach, but he's got a good work ethic, as Jamie with Craig. He shares a lot of his good news stories, and Craig always comes back with praise. So good on you, Jamie. Next up, we have another of the Who Dropped the Dibber team. That's Emily underscore in the outdoors. And she has a double header she wants to shout out. And that's for her lovely running buddy, Shirley Wyland. And she uses 2 heart emojis. But also Aldo in Wonderland, who is running for Blood Cancer UK. That's the message that I got. I'm not too sure much on else of that. I also had a message from some weird bearded fellow who goes by the name of Runnerman Steve. Apparently he's running the London Marathon. Not that any of us had any clue about that, but good luck, buddy.
Not sure I've mentioned it at all.
Not sure you've mentioned it.
No, I've kept it secret on a download.
To mention someone that Steve's already shouted out as his community shout outs is Giz on the Run. That's GIZ _ the _ Now, lovely Giz has given a shout out to 2 of the amazing Who Dropped the Dibber runners. If Giz hadn't done it, I would have done it myself anyway. And that is Nick, who is at nick.mcgowanlow, and also to Helen, who is at helen.x.outside. I'm pretty sure Nick's done a marathon before. I could be wrong, but I know Helen has not done one before, so she's had a lot of paranoia. But having kept track of both of their training routines and schedules so far, they've been absolutely smashing their training. Helen's had a few blips along the way, but she's going to do amazingly this weekend. But Giz would also like to shout out Luke, otherwise known as Run Shine on Leith, which is a great name for someone from Edinburgh, with it being Luke's first marathon as it is with Helen. So there we go. Giz did say that within her notes. And finally, Giz is putting a shout out to Joe Hammond, who actually just did the Manchester Marathon, is now heading to London. She is doing it for charity, is Joe, because Joe's actually part of the What the Fartlek family as well. I've followed her story and actually donated to her as well. I can't say I'm 100% sure which charity it is. I'm pretty sure it's a cancer charity, but very well done to Joe for not only smashing it in Manchester, but also then not really giving herself much of a break and heading to London. Next up, I have TJ, and TJ is I Run for Shirts and Medals. I think I've mentioned her in the past. And TJ is shouting at her What the Fartlek friend, Simon Ostrich, but also to Rob, who is one of the hosts of What the Fartlek, JP, their editor and kind of one of the hosts, who did Manchester last week or the week before, whenever this episode is going out. You get the gist. And also to Jack Penfold, who's also part of the What the Fartlek family. Getting there slowly but surely. We have Stony Runs is shouting out Harriet, or otherwise known at HCT_London_marathon. He says, "You've got this. Your effort level is first class. Enjoy the victory." And as with everyone, what else will applaud that? It's the victory lap. Enjoy the occasion. I have how many more? 4 more. At Sam.that.runs is shouting out Lisa Tingros from the Kettering Town Harriers, who's going to be taking part. I don't know anything about Lisa, but spot on, Sam, for shouting her out. if she's a club runner, and from her photo looks like she's rapid, so I would imagine she's going to absolutely blast out London. Next, I have Paul, who is at Run in the Sunshine _ Paul's coming across all the way from Abu Dhabi, who's also going to be picking up his second star. He says hopefully picking up his second star. He will be picking up his second star. He'll absolutely smash it. He's been training in like absolutely insane heat. I'm sure he can manage with the heat of London. Second to last, I have our friend and the last guest from the Press, Play and Run podcast. Now, what a phenomenal interview that was, conducted by Ryan, and that is Kaylee. And Kaylee is shouting out once again, Helen Outside, or Helen X Outside, that I've already mentioned from Giz. Kaylee would like to say special love from her. It's Helen's first marathon and first ballot entry. She's going to smash it. Now, Kaylee, as I say, was a phenomenal guest on the Press, Play and Run podcast, and is well worth listening to. And herself went and smashed Manchester last week, or whenever it was. It was amazing and done with smiles all round. Now, finally, we touched on this for the first one, but we have a shout out from Hannah from our last episode. That's Hannah _runs 93. And she is shouting out Janine Lewitt. I think that's her surname. I think that's how you say it anyway. They've been chatting online since 2020. Of course, I mentioned this earlier in the episode when Janine first got her place for London and wanted some of the kit purchased and sent, but you obviously can't buy it if you're out of the country. You can only get it in the UK, or at least she wanted to get it sent to someone in the UK and then shipped on. So Janine got in contact with Hannah, and Hannah, lovely Hannah, shipped it to the US. So Janine was driving to Boston for the weekend to cheer on Hannah, and as we've already mentioned, Hannah smashed that, and that's a really nice thing to do, especially if you've never met someone. I'm not quite sure where she lives in the States, but to drive in and cheer someone on that you've never met that's going the extra distance. But she is then going to be flying over for her London marathon, and Hannah's back in the country and is going to be cheering on Janine. So Hannah, you can't wait to cheer on Janine on the day. Again, words are hard. I'm struggling here. Cheer on the day. Good luck, Janine, and all runners. Again, I have to kind of second that. Good luck to everyone I've mentioned. Anything I've butchered there. I'm going to pass it back to Steve now, and hopefully he's found a list of people that he's almost forgotten about.
Well, I can't find the post. But what I have done is I've thought on my feet and I've gone through my DMs of those who've messaged me because they are doing the marathon. To be fair, I didn't get loads. I got the HCT Harriet one. Okay. I had that one. And I get the same person that sent that message to me in case it wasn't picked up on the
Stony Runs. Yep.
And I'll go through a few. I've got one as well. So it was Chris.runs.a.lap.
Yes.
I believe he's run it. So shout out to him. Claire. So her name is It's a Bears World _. She's running London for the first time. So I'm jealous of her. So hopefully she has a fantastic time. It is insanely good. We have Chloe runs a lot. So she's run in London. I think she ran last year as well. So hopefully she has a great one. One been chatting to, his name's the running class teacher. I've mentioned him before. He's run in London. He had an injury. So hopefully he gets through that and enjoys his run. We've got one coming from Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been watching his stories I've loved him just because his scenery is ridiculous. He _runs_ Sydney. I believe he's flying over currently. So he's doing that. There's someone else that had it literally. I want to shout out Mo Farah because he's been DMing me.
You wish.
He's like, Steve, how shall I run? One foot in front of the other, my friend. No, you haven't.
Put your arms down. Stop making an M over your head while you're running.
Yeah. Talk about take away your energy, mate. Steve runs London. Mentioned him before on a number of occasions. He's running London Marathon. We are travelling there together. We're in the same starting area. We are one wave apart from each other. So he's done amazing things. So he's running it. So good luck to him. And one more, because you've basically taken my other ones. I gave you the opportunity. Yes. Well, I did not understand. I didn't listen to the assignment because I was too busy cutting sausages up. Sorry, people. This real dad stuff going on right now. Run, Ruba, run. So run, and the Ruba spelled RUBA. Run, Ruba, run. She's going to be a pacer. Now, I believe it's for like 7 hours 30. So that's a monumental challenge.
That is an effort.
I've always said it's more difficult to run like a 6-7 hour marathon than it is to run, say, a 3:30, because you've got more time on feet, more repetition, more aches, more pains, more dark thoughts. So if you are running and you think, oh, then people run really, really fast and I'm going so slow, you are putting in more effort.
Yeah,
believe me.
I have to second that. You're the people at the back. If you feel that you're not doing as well as people at the front, you are doing better than the people at the front. Because of as Steve just said, the time on feet, that is an effort and a half. You are troopers, and that's why
it will be grueling.
Yeah, those people deserve bigger cheers than the people at the front, I would say.
100%, and they do. So if you are that person, embrace that, because the cheers you get on they are louder. You see like Mo Farah run past, like, oh my God, it's Mo Farah. And that goes away. And they see the person coming who thinks, look at that person. They are clearly, they might be struggling a little bit. Let's give them the shout. You get that bigger shout. It's that compassion that I don't think you get anywhere else apart from London on that day. Not to downplay anywhere else, but I think
there's more cut-offs in other places than like we had the discussion in the last episode. There's more cut-offs in other marathons, whereas London isn't a little bit more extended.
Yep. And I just want to give a generic London Marathon shout out to everyone who has been fasting for Ramadan. I think Eid's on the 21st, 22nd of this month. Those that have been adjusting their plans, going on fasted runs, doing X, Y, and Z, and still going to turn up and do the marathon. They still commit to their training. Hats off to you, because I can't go 2 hours at work without a coffee. So shout out to everyone else, because that is some effort. That honestly is some effort. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone that has been fasting. Everyone, I hope you have like an amazing Eid, and then you have a big party on London Marathon. So they're my modified shout outs for the London Marathon of those that are doing it. And then please see prior for the community shout outs. Thank you, please.
I actually was thinking, do I do a community shout out here? Because I've got a couple of more topics to cover before we finish off today. And that is my fortnight in running, because we haven't talked about that. And I know on Steve's notes, he wants to talk about the runs I've been doing with Fuse. But before we get into that and some other news, I will shout out as someone we're going to be talking about in a second anyway, to do with the Point 99 Club, and it's a suggestion he's had for me. I just want to shout out a chap called whose handle is the Pole Fit Ultra Runner, Mike Houston. Really, because I had a bit of a tough week the past week. My social media presence was down a little bit. A lot of people kind of noticed it, but Mike really kind of gave me such a cheer up. The messages he sent were spot on, and I didn't respond to them straight away. And the same with Patrick Watkins, who I shouted out previously. What was his handle again? I always forget Pat's handle. 1 second. P Watkins _13. Patrick also sent me a message that said, "You're all right, but you're a little bit quieter than usual." Not that I'm loud or outgoing or anything, but I think my drop in presence was noticed by both of them, and they sent me some really nice messages. And as I said, I didn't respond straight away because I was in a funny place, but I did appreciate them. And all the messages I got, I really appreciate all the messages. And now I have responded to them all. But thank you very much, everyone. But certainly for Mike, who was the first to really send some really nice messages. Thank you very much. And that's really a big plus of the community, is when people are there for you. It was a bit something and nothing. Just got in my own head a little bit, but I'm all good this week. So yeah, long may that continue. So we'll move on now from that. I'm only going to do one shout out and kind of add Pat into that as well. And we'll get on to the 99 Club news that I just kind of passed over. Now, we are working hard in the background to get this Club 99 up and running. I'm working on a website. I'm working on other bits and pieces, seeing about getting a catalogue of merchandise that we don't have to necessarily buy ourselves in bulk, that can be purchased through a vendor. But I will be setting up a cheeky little Strava group. I'll probably make it private to begin with, because I don't think everyone wants to be on a big public group and have people seeing where they're running. And I think there'll be a little bit of apprehension about that. So we'll have a little private group at first, see how we get on, see how people are feeling, and then we'll widen it up. But we'll maybe have a couple of small competitions or something, a spot X, Y, or Z on your run, bingo. But Mike, the PoleFit Ultra Runner, had a great suggestion for a feature that we can introduce to episodes to kind of party on with our community shout outs. That is a question and topic kind of relay. It would be member or listener submitted questions on random sports or running related topics. I'm sure we could answer any topic, but keep it topical to the podcast. So random sports or running related topics that Steve and I could then get super tangential on and kind of just share our 2 cents before or after we do the community shout outs, just to pad it out a little bit, especially if we don't have a guest on that particular episode. But as I say, we are working in the background to get it up and running. I know I said that, 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes, whenever I announced it, but life is busy and we have jobs, we have families, but we will get it. We will get there. But to move on and almost finish in a backwards approach, because we usually cover this right at the beginning, but we covered the London Marathon and how Steve was getting on. I have a series of bits and pieces to cover, and how my fortnight went. I of course got another PB. I have not stopped trying to push my PBs. I got a 19-second improvement on my half marathon. Bearing in mind, I'd just broken it with COVID and in a kilt. I then went and broke it by 19 seconds on an elevated route. So I'm really confident on the right route, on a nice flat attempt, I'm going to absolutely smash the goal that I currently have for half marathon of a 1:45.
Good time. It's a very good time.
So I'm currently sitting at 1:47.46. So I think I can easily achieve 1:45.
I've not pushed a half marathon for this whole block. I wanted to, but I couldn't find the suitable one that I wouldn't feel would cause me an injury, because Hampton Court Palace was going to be a mud bath, and it was, so I stayed away from it. So I don't know where my half marathon is at. I know I'm good for 5K, probably good for 10K. I don't know what I'm at for half marathon. We'll find out on.
You're very similar to me, though. If you have to plan out your route, otherwise you've got busy roads to cross or go under passes, and it's never quite the same as going to an event and having closed roads. And
so we'll see. We'll see what happens in London. Maybe I'll. Maybe either the first half, probably the second half, we'll try and push out a PB on the second half of London, but we'll see what happens.
Well, if you PB at London itself, you may actually just PB in the half marathon pace as well without really trying, which would be phenomenal, a double header. But I did also almost, without trying. Now, I did get an interesting message from our friend Lipstick and Trainers off this one. She did say that not every effort needs to be a PB when I go out, but I went out and I was very, very fairly effortless last night. I did a 5K run, and then I kind of got home by doing another 2.5 kilometers, but I was 2 seconds off almost beating my 5K without any effort. So, I mean, I'm building myself up for failure here, but I think my 5K is going to tumble soon.
And then you'll be like, where are my PBs coming from now?
Where am I going to go? They're only going to dry up, and I'm going to be sad, a sad man, crying and rocking myself for sympathy.
My only thing with my one is that I was like, yes, I've done the sub 20. I've done 19:19. I was like, hang about. I've now got to go at some to beat my PB, and it could be a while, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's not my focus. I have actually entered the Vitality 10K because Vitality joined with Parkrun. We're doing an offer for, I think it's about 4,000 places for a tenner.
Oh, nice.
So I've got into that, and so I'm sort of earmarking that loosely to be my sub 40 attempt. So I'll work on some speed over the summer. But yeah, I mean, to break 5K, it took me ages to get sub 20. So to go below 19:19 is going to be some. So I don't think I'll be posting a PB for a 5K anytime soon.
But it might happen. It might happen. But I did see Steve's notes this week. I might not have shared my notes with him, but he shared his notes with me. And
no, because I play nicely.
You wanted to talk about my one of my routes that I've been doing the last 3 weekends, and that is my elevated training routes.
It's ridiculous. It looks so good, but I'm used to concrete and pigeons.
Now, to me, right. I would love to be running in an area of concrete and pigeons. I love running here. Don't get me wrong, but I would like to be in the city centre, in the hubbub of.
You know what? I've not actually run anywhere near any of the London Marathon route. I've purposely not done it because I want it to become normal again.
Yeah, you want to be fresh.
Fresh. But yeah, the route looks so nice, and it looks a million miles away when it's not really a million miles away. It's far, but not a million miles away. It just doesn't look like it's the UK. I'm like, it looks nice.
Yeah. Now, to me, this is the route in question. I put up a video last night. It's on YouTube. I couldn't upload it to Instagram because it's too long. But I put a link in my stories. But if you go to YouTube and you look for 450 meter mixed terrain long run, I'm sure you'll find it. It's my picture that's on it. Or if you look for Mr. Steve on YouTube, you'll find me. So I've only got 4 videos on there at the moment. The rest are hidden, but these ones are running related. But I've put up a bit of a compilation of the run with a audio descriptor as well. But it's a 450 meter elevated climb, and that's to the peak. And over the course of the run, it's a 550 meter elevation gain. And that's from where I live, dropping down a little bit, almost to sea level, and then going right up to the 450. It's not easy. It's a bit of a climb. It kicks in a few places, but honestly, like you said, Steve, it's like another world, especially when you get out of the village that I live in, just to then be in the wilderness, and you're on like country roads, and then you're in forestry, and then it's like barren landscape. You're in the proper Highlands. Now, the Highlands is a massive area, but to me, this is the proper Highlands that you're in. So if you get an opportunity, have a check of the video. It's about 7 minutes long. I've tried to keep it short and keep it fresh.
I was like, I want to go there. I was like, mate, you've not even been north of the border. You've not even gone to Scotland, and now you want to go to the highest point of it. I will get to Scotland one day. It sounds ridiculous, and I'm literally, a short flight from it. If I was to fly, 'cause I wouldn't drive it. It's ridiculous.
No, it's a mental drive.
It's a mental drive. I think I'm complaining about driving 4 hours to Dorset next week. It'll be nice though, because I've got my clutch done, which cost me 350 quid for the benefit of it. So no, it looked like somewhere I'd want to go. I could see myself sitting on the bench up there and just going, as all that time's passed. It looks like a proper chill point. You know,
It is, and I got very lucky on that run on Sunday, last Sunday, because I was on my own, and it's a place where you can just sit and you can lean against the monument, just sit on your backside, and I didn't do because my legs would have got cold. But if you went for a walk, take a sandwich with you, take a nice flask of tea, and just appreciate life and inhale the fresh Highland air, because you notice that as well when you've been in the city centre, it's in the big cities in London. To come to somewhere like the Highlands, you do get just that freshness. It's just so good for the soul. But that's exactly why I did it. I just went just because, like I say, I wasn't having a particularly great headspace moment for a few days, so I just went up. I ran up Firish. Was blessed to have the area to myself, and gave myself a good talking to before coming back down again. But I think I'll be up there again on Sunday. No, I won't. I won't be up there on Sunday. I will be following a marathon. Don't. I won't forget that. But I think I'm going to be doing a 30-kilometer run. And I don't know if Steve's. It's been leaked, but I don't know whether Steve's actually seen it in any of the comments. So this may be news to him. So is this news to you then? Okay, that's good. I will be running another marathon very soon. So to announce it just now, I wanted to save it till a particular guest came on, but I would find that very hard to keep it for that long. I will be returning to Edinburgh and running the marathon.
I feel like I've sown the seeds.
You did. On the last episode when you mentioned that, I already had the thought process was in place. I'm friendly with the charity that I run for on a regular basis, the Cojones Scotland crew. And last time round, I ran for them. I was charity runner for them, but I paid for my entry. Now, Edinburgh Marathon entries have been closed for weeks. And I was looking at it and going, I've missed the boat here. And then I clicked, and Richie had messaged me last time and says, you shouldn't have paid for your entry, mate. We would have given you a charity place. So on a bit of a whim, I messaged him and asked if I could get a place. And he has thankfully given me a place. I'm still going to try and raise as much money as possible for them, because Cojones mean a lot to me. And actually, I will do another charity, and I will do a shout out in a second on that topic. But Cojones are a charity close to heart for me. So I am glad to be going back. It's one of those ones where I am like, do I want to go back? It's got such good memories for my first marathon, but also I've got the disappointment for all the kind of the roller coaster of emotions that I experienced there. But my hotel's booked. We're going down for a couple of days. We're going to see all the fantastic members of the Who Dropped the Debra team, and hopefully I'll have a fantastic run. It does mean that I've only got 6 weeks of training to fit in now. It's a 16-week training program to fit into what was, when I got accepted, 7 weeks. Thankfully, I've been training regularly anyway. My normal week of training is a 10 to 15 kilometer run on a Tuesday, 10 to 15 kilometer run on a Thursday, and then at least a half marathon on a Sunday. So I've already got the mileage in me for the most part. So yeah, hopefully this Sunday get for a 30-kilometer run and be ready.
Well, you know what you're going to have to do, don't you?
Get a PB in it, I know.
No, the opposite.
Oh, go slow so I can really hammer out Amsterdam.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to leave yourself to the point where you're just going to break yourself down. So these accidental PBs are going to stop, my friend. I'll tell you, I know.
No,
but you'll blow up, wouldn't you?
It's just because I made the comment there about meeting the guys from the Who Dropped the Debra team at Edinburgh, because a lot of them live in the area. I had a lovely message from Lee today. So we're recording on a Thursday because I'm going to Amsterdam with my wife and myself. I'm running solo. So she's going to be spectating at certain points, and then she's going to go off and do her own thing, because it's a long time to be standing around. But Lee sent a lovely message and asked if I would like a cheer squad to go over, and he's been looking at flights. So it's not saying that's going to happen, but it would be amazing to head over to my first foreign marathon, my first abroad marathon, and have some friendly faces to cheer me on at regular intervals. whatever happens at Edinburgh, it's going to be completely different to Amsterdam, because Amsterdam's so flat. Whereas Edinburgh, you kind of commit to a downhill at the beginning. But I'm sure we'll cover that all in the episode we'll be recording with Ryan from the Press Play and Run podcast. But yeah, that's hot news for you all. I'm insane. I'm going back, and I've not given myself much time to train.
Yeah, so well, apparently she's going to bed. Bye. Yeah, so look, mate, I can't lie. I was flirting with the idea of Edinburgh, but I couldn't make the dates work because I thought to myself, okay, maybe I could do that, a bit Hannah style.
Yeah.
Hannah style, like you're fresh on the wave, off you go. But I just can't make the dates work, which is super annoying. Okay.
But I'm sure in let's say maybe not next year, maybe next year, coming years, we'll be able to get you up. We'll be able to run a marathon together. Let's say we throw in our hats into the ballot. We might both get lucky for London. We can run a marathon together. Time out the window, just have fun and enjoy ourselves. But it's always something to look forward to.
100%. I mean, I'm definitely throwing my name into the hat for London again. It's an addiction. Honestly, it's addiction. But yeah, I want to get up to Scotland and do a marathon up there. I want to get to a foreign one across maybe Berlin or Amsterdam. So yeah, I don't want it to always be London, even though London's amazing. I'm not going to keep taking charity places. I don't want to be constantly on the cap in hand.
But like we touched on when we were going through the how your 16 weeks have gone, it's a big effort. You're not just running, you're not just training. You've got all that mental. Am I raising enough? Am I doing everything I can?
That being said, if I did get a place, I would say I'm going to set up a page in case anyone wants to and they ask. It's there, but it won't be the pressure. So no, look, I'm jealous. I'd love to do the Edinburgh one. I just want to go to Scotland in general. So just been told it's a really nice place. There's some really nice parts. I'd love to go there. Maybe as my daughter gets a bit older. We can jump. I mean, we fly to Scotland, Glasgow, and Edinburgh from my airport. I mean, it's not cheap, but from city, but it's an option.
Well, that's it. And Edinburgh it's a great marathon. I did love it. It's a love-hate, but to go there, like you say, just fly in, and it has lots for kids and families to do, and it being the historical centre of Scotland as well. Can't speak about Edinburgh highly enough. But on that topic of Edinburgh, I do want to do one more shout out, and I know we're a little bit here and there with this episode. Fingers crossed we won't be the next one. I'll actually share my my script with Steve, but I do want to give an appreciation shout out to Lee that I just mentioned there. For anyone that doesn't know his handle, it's at control_alt_Lee. A bit of a nerd is Lee. And that's really goes to hand in hand with what I've just said about the charity that I run for, Cojones Scotland. Lee's just come back from holiday, but before he went away, and he won't mind me sharing this news, he had a bit of a self-doubt moment. He had been regularly checking himself, as all men should, and found something that gave him a fair bit of concern. Lee, knowing my story and knowing what I went through, he had no fear in sending me a message and just asking and having a little bit of a chat to kind of ease himself. And thankfully, it was something and nothing for on Lee's part. It was a bit of a cyst, and guys out there, it's common for especially in runners. So if you ever find something, don't delay, go get it checked. But more often than not for runners, it's a cyst, and they will pass in time. But he did put out a lovely post, and as I say, my week past wasn't fantastic, but he put out this appreciation post. And was really, really nice to read. Such a lovely post. Kind of, if I wasn't so in my own head, I think I would have inflated my ego so much. But no, it was so nice. And Lee is a phenomenally friendly guy. He's someone that I've met through the community. actually, I met him. I met him through Cojones Scotland in a roundabout way, because I met someone else because of Cojones Scotland, Muriel Dempsey, who then I got connected with Lee, and it just shows that the community, you meet people, and yeah, they're phenomenal. I wouldn't be anywhere without them now. But I'm rambling now. But as you can tell, it kind of hit me quite hard, that one. So
it's like you said that I've had an issue before where I've had to go, to doctors and tell them, listen, I'm not too sure. It weren't the feeling that you say if you've got a lump or whatever. It was more of the dull ache.
Yeah, a feeling in your loins. Yeah.
Yes. And so I just went to the doctor and said, okay, what we'll do is we'll book you a hospital appointment. Go there now, and they'll do an ultrasound, basically. Yeah. And for me, it was very awkward because...
It's very awkward, that. I know, because I've had it too.
Very awkward. And what does Steve do when he gets awkward? He makes awkward jokes. So I'm in there. My partner says, do you want me to come in with you? I went, absolutely not. Are you crazy? I mean, it's bad enough that I've got to be in there. Anyway, this chap doesn't make much conversation. He's just doing a job, and I'm next, and I'm out, whatever. He done it. He goes, yeah, you're done. And me being me, I said, you're not even going to clean me up.
Oh.
Right? And he just looked at me. I went, I'm really sorry, but this is so awkward. This is so awkward. I can't. And it just came out. And as he was leaving, he sort of wry smile. And as I opened the door and I left, I looked back, and he looked at me. I said, I'll call you later. Right? I had to put humour in it because I was so awkward. I'm like, I'm in a hospital when a man's ultrasound's in my cojones.
But that's what we need to do. It's something. Again, same with what we said. We've got so many guests lined up, and Cojones Scotland are one of them. They've already agreed that they're going to come on, and they're doing fantastic things in Scotland. They're associated with a lot of the big Premiership teams up here now, and they're spreading the good word on self-check. And it's not just a topic for men; it's a topic for women as well. Women, you need to know about. If you're that way inclined, to help your partner or help your boyfriend or help your husband, make sure he is checking himself. But it's ultrasounds are one thing, getting ultrasound on any part of your body, but when you're getting it down there, it's especially odd. I
don't think he appreciated the fact that he went through medical school for some Cockney lads to make some sort of taboo joke about the fact of what he's doing. I don't know what I'm going to say when I get to 40 and I've got to have the digit up there. I don't know what's going to happen.
He does operate. He is also working in a little darkened room. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really dismay. The only thing he needs elsewise is a red light.
Right, I felt like I was in Harry Potter's cupboard under the stairs.
Oh my! But,
so yeah, this is very important stuff. Yeah. We laugh and joke about it, make awkward jokes about it, but if there's something, don't let it be too late.
No, exactly, and not to try and finish on an odd, awkward subject or anything, but yeah. It was just the appreciation post and the context of it. But Lee, he's a great guy. He's phenomenal, and yeah, he makes the community all the better for being in it. So I'm glad that he's all good. And yeah, if anyone has any doubts about their physical health in that respect, my DMs are always open. I will try and respond as much as possible. If I'm not feeling great, then I'll tell you. If I don't want to discuss it, I'll point you in the right direction. And as the same for Cojones Scotland, you don't have to be Scottish to message them. They are just so good at furthering the importance of men's health checks. But to try and not finish on a downer, let's try and cheer things up. Balls to that, yes.
Balls to that.
We will hopefully have guests or a guest for our next episode as we get a little bit closer or at least get this episode out We will confirm who that or who they might be. We have a few people in mind. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we will have a guest for the next one to keep us on the straight and narrow and less tangential. But yeah, hopefully you have a phenomenal run on Sunday, Steve.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm looking forward to it. The conversations that I have been having are I think I've got more in me than a sub 3:30. But as Craig
take it as it comes, though, mate. Take it as it comes.
As Craig the runner put into context, and I believe that only an experienced runner and someone who's not in the same Maranoia window as you can make sense, is you're going to feel, and this might be good advice for everyone else here, you may feel stronger than your goal pace. And I find my goal pace of around 7:55, 8 minutes a mile, I find that very, very comfortable. It's within my aerobic,
That's
a little
your
bit
natural pace at the moment. Yeah.
But that is designed, that's come about because of the way the sessions have been designed. So you felt strong. I felt strong ending 20-mile runs at 7 minutes 20 for the last 4, because you know that's coming to the end of your run. So you've sort of got to extend that goal pace a little bit longer. And if you get to sort of 20, 21, 22 and you're feeling good, then you can slightly be sneaky and start creeping up on the time.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, and the one main thing that I will be doing, is I will not be sabotaging my plan A of sub 3:30. If I get sub 3:30, I'll be elated. Any finish time is a good finish time. We're all on different roads. It's running the same course, we're on a different road. But I will not let the thoughts of I'm quicker than that ruin the plan. Does it make sense?
So, that's it. Keep to the plan. If you feel in the last few miles that you can push it even further, push it for that last few. Because what's 2 miles? You're gonna hit the cross. You're gonna cross that finishing line. You're gonna get a massive PB. Just watch your watch that last few, and if you've got it in your tank, you smash it, mate.
To be fair, I'm not even going to pay attention to the watch. I'm just going to be with a pacer. I'll trust their job.
You don't be cutting them off and putting them in a pothole now, will you?
No, but you know what? And another sound bit of advice actually from Craig was coast in to the water stations. Make sure you get a clean entry and a clean exit for the water stations, because they can be chaos. So if you're comfortable to run with a little bottle in your hand, hold it for a few miles, and then when you get to, like, I don't know, the next 2 down the road, take a fresh one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't be one of those people that stops. Don't cool yourself down. Don't stop your momentum, and don't get in the way. Just grab your bottle and run.
No, I've already told me dad and me aunt, listen, I'll see you, I'll wave to you, but I'm not stopping, because when I'm in the zone, when I'm in the groove, I'm staying within it. Yes, I'm not going anywhere outside of it.
Oh no! Hopefully you have a phenomenal time, mate, and hopefully the weather is good, but not too good. Hopefully it's the perfect storm for you to absolutely blow your PB out of the water. But fingers crossed for you, toes crossed for you.
It's going to be a good time. And if you do see me on course, if you see me in a starting pen anywhere at all, or my second visit to get my vest done because it was too busy, like, feel free, just say hello. Like, honestly, I'm not going to be like, sorry, who are you? I will happily chat to absolutely anyone. So if you see me, stop me.
Spot on.
Simple as.
And that goes for everyone, though. Hopefully everybody who's running London has a phenomenal race, and any other races going on. We didn't hear. We did put a shout out asking what other races are going on, but nobody came to us. So whatever you're running, we hope you have a phenomenal time. But yeah, if you stay in touch with the socials, we'll keep you informed on how Steve gets on over the coming weeks before we head back up with episode 8, and we'll also announce who our guests are going to be. But I think that's us for the day. It's been quite a long one again, Steve.
It has. Good luck editing.
I will love every second.
No, but honestly, it's great. Talk your paranoia out with someone. Don't let it fester on yourself. Trust the plan. Trust your training. Trust what you've done. Just go out and have a good time. Hannah has shown you that if you just go out and have a good time, like amazing things can happen. So take the pressure off yourself. The main thing is soak it all up. That's it. Just soak it up. You know, you get through Canary Wharf, the buzz starts coming out. And I think the biggest part of it is you go through, as you come to Embankment, you go under an underpass, a little tunnel, and it's all dark. And then you literally emerge into the light, and you're on the final part of that marathon where you get to where all the charities are down Embankment and all amazing sights. So it's amazing. Enjoy it. And you're going to be hooked. You're not going to say never again, because you will do another marathon.
Yeah, exactly. There's no one and dones. No one and dones.
Have fun.
But I think we'll just do a subdued goodbye today, though. Just reiterate, anyone running, have a great time. And yeah, Steve, smash it out. You'll do amazingly, lads. But until episode 8, we hope that everyone stays positive, stays motivated, and hits our DMs if they want any chat.
Give me a little track. You want to track me? 37572. It's on my Instagram as well, mate. You know, have a little look, see how we're going.
Spot on.
And then you can see me go amazingly well. Or no, I'm not. I'm going to go amazingly well. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. Hopefully, by the end of it, I'll see Manchester United beat Brighton in the FA Cup. That would be a beautiful day. Last time I'll cross the finish line and Man City were beating United 4-0, and I was like, let me carry on running.
Right, there we go. We're going to get good news from Steve, and we're going to get good news for his team. Right, that's it. That's us done. That's us out.
Bye.
Bye-bye.